Jane, and I am integrating. I've spent about 3 months in Costa Rica, and I'm back in Charlotte. I arrived just a couple days ago, so I am integrating so many changes. I've changed. Um, my community has grown and expanded tremendously, and when I connect with community, um, my community becomes my family. And so I feel like there's this whole family of mine that I left in Costa Rica. So it's very interesting for me to be here now. So, um, so this is Body, Mind, Spirit, where it's all the things, right? It's like how our body is moving and feeling, the health of our body, how our mind is thinking, like is the mind running the show or are we witnessing what the mind is thinking? And spirit, which to me is our energy, it's our subtle body, it's our emotions, it's how we connect with something bigger. Um, it's love. So to me, we need all three aspects to really live as this like I am here, I am human. So I'm excited to share whatever is going to come through. So I want to talk about a little bit about the integration actually in my physical and mental and emotional bodies every time, every time. So um, and I just share this because I think that integration time is really important. And for me, allowing myself integration time gives me space to see where I was, where I am, and where I want to be. And so if you think about a time in your life that you had a change, whether you changed jobs, a relationship, you changed a physical location, you moved from one place to another, you had a new relationship, right? A new job, a new partner, a new community. Like when we go into a big shift, there's an integration time. And what I'm noticing with my integration time is I had this whole integration time when I went to Costa Rica. The first part of the time I was there, I was really deep in the jungle. That's its own integration because there's barely any internet, like there's barely any technology. And we're on the side of a mountain by a river, completely away from most, like the closest town. The closest small town was like an hour and a half away. And that's a while, you know. Um, and so that was its own integration. And it was really easeful. One, because I'd already been there and I had like work to do and all this stuff. Plus, the food and the water was completely probably the cleanest and freshest I've ever had in my life. And so I adapted to that space and then I went to the ocean. And that has its own adaptation because it's hot. It's a lot of sunshine, you're sandy. Um, I had a lot more fruit options because it just grows closer to where I was then. So I had my own integration time. And then I went to the mountains, and that was its own integration time because I was actually connecting with a community and the weather was totally different. And I was getting into the river as opposed to the ocean. And I had my own integration time. And it was all really easy for me. Um, it wasn't easy to not have a vehicle, but it worked out. It was really easy for me to integrate. And my body was feeling good. My thoughts were clearer and clearer. Um, my spirit was lit up all the time. I mean, I was still like moving through darkness and healing and all of the things. Um, and And what I'm noticing is that my integration coming back to the United States doesn't feel as easeful for me. Um, my body doesn't feel as good at all. Um, yeah, at all. And I, because the food is so different here, everything that I've been eating has created a lot of inflammation. So, like, as soon as I eat here, my sinuses get stuffy. I'm doing that, but it's only after I eat. Um, it seems like my mind is like, I need to figure it out. I need to do what's next. And I'm like, that's the way I was thinking before I left, right? It was like work mode, gotta do, da 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 da. And my mind is like, I'm supposed to be doing that. And then there's the other part of my mind is like, no, no, you're not. So my mind is like, oh, like all over the place, but not. And my spirit, it's very light. And I've had some moments with really heavy heart. Um, while I was gone, they had tore down my next door neighbor's house. It was this little ranch house like mine. And in the time that I've been gone, they have built a new house and it's 2 stories. And so I have lost all the privacy in my home and in my backyard. Even though I have a privacy fence, but now it's not private. Um, and then I also went to the grocery store and the organic foods, they're not like organic stuff doesn't look like it's plastic in the same, like every apple doesn't look like a perfect apple. Like that's not organic. Um, and so my heart feels really heavy. So my spirit's having moments of like, "Wah, wah." But I share all this because I feel integration time is really important for any changes that we make. I think that for me, and a lot of times that I've made a big shift, whatever that shift is, I still hit the ground running. Um, I immediately like make plans. What's the next step? What am I doing now? I immediately go into that mode, and I might need to be dealing with the whiplash of the thing that I just left and the thing that I'm now in. When I was getting divorced, I didn't have, I didn't allow myself um, time to integrate this reality that I was now single and without my life partner. Um, like I just like hit the ground running because I needed to find a place to stay, and I was still really busy at work, and I was just going, 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 going. And then I'm like, no, I'm gonna train for a marathon. Yeah, okay, yeah. And so I didn't really integrate slash process the grief of that experience. I just went on and kept going. And it's also like on the other end of the spectrum when I've done something really great. Um, like when I hold a cacao ceremony, I've been doing this now for many years. And every time, like, I am so pleased with it. I'm just like, oh my God, I'm so grateful and honored that I get to serve this medicine to the community and witnessing the effects of it and watching people sit with the sacred medicine. And it lights me up and I feel so good. And then I don't do this anymore, but for a long time, I would be like, after the ceremony, I'd be like, oh, maybe I should have said this. Oh, I forgot to mention that. And oh, I forgot to do this. And I wonder if I needed to have done this. Well, next time I'll do this. And well, next time I wonder if the location needs to be different next time. And I was just immediately not processing, just like, yo, I did a thing. I did a thing. And I think that that's really important for us to allow ourselves to integrate, to acclimate, to process. If you've lived a life and you've had any addictive patterns and you don't have them anymore, you might be in a place where, and this has been me for sure, where it's like, I'm just going to focus on not drinking. What can I do to not drink? What else can I do? I know I'll go work out, I'll go do yoga, I'll go for a hike. And so there wasn't there like so just the integration, just basking like, holy shit, I'm not drinking today. This feels good. Like, this feels really good. I'm going to allow myself to just feel really good that I'm not drinking today. Awesome. Or when I stop smoking, like, oh my God, I'm so, like, this feels really good that I'm not smoking, but I was like white knuckling it because oftentimes when we go through a change, there's a lot of discomfort. There's the newness. If you've ever been in a new relationship, like a partnership, um, I keep looking at this plant, a conversation with Flash, and it's got this like there are leaves and stuff all over it, except for this one part, and it's just like long with no leaves. And I'm guessing it's gonna bust out some leaves soon. I don't know. It's very interesting. Anyway, but if you've ever been in a new relationship and it seems to be moving fast, this has been my story. I always tend to move fast in relationships. Um, I don't want to do that anymore. But anyhow, maybe I do. Who knows? I'm not gonna put that out there. Um, but it would just be like, okay, well, what's the next step? What do we do? How are we going to live together? What are we going to do about who pays what? And da 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 da. And there wasn't the space allowed to just integrate a reality of like, oh shit, I'm in a partnership right now. Whoa. And kind of like, I guess the integration is pausing long enough to pull back and to witness it from your higher self's perspective. That's to me what integration really is. And to like see, whoa, what was I doing? What am I doing? How's this going to play out in my future? How can I support what I've learned into my now experience? Like, how can I how can I take all that I've learned from whatever I've just been through and apply it? Like, how can I take all the treasures and the gifts and apply it with my new reality without completely annihilating what I ever was, right? Because it's kind of like if you've ever had addictive patterning, there's a reason you had addictive patterning. There's a reason I had addictions. It's because I had unhealed shit. So if I integrate it, I'm like, I'm sober now. I don't do any drugs or alcohol, but I don't deal with that shit, then I'm not actually integrating. I'm just not doing the thing that was harmful, but all the underlying things are still going to be there. You know, we can't just push it under the rug. There's an actual integration process. Um, and so that's where I am. I am very much integrating and at the same time hitting the ground running. Yeah, for sure. Um, between maintaining of the things at my house that the person that's been living here has not maintained. Um, so I'm grateful that the weather's nice so that I can be outside to do those things. Um, the inside was maintained very nicely, so I'm very grateful for that. Um, but living for 3 months out of two, like a suitcase and a backpack, I've realized that I don't need half the stuff that I have. And so there's an integrating to that realization and releasing my stuff that I don't use or that isn't bringing me so much joy. And just, yeah. So it's like as we integrate, then I feel that as we integrate whatever experiences that we've been through into new ways of being and those nuggets that are supportive and helpful, they allow us to see what's actually really important. Like I really I have certain tools here, for example. Like I have a turtle shell rattle that I use in ceremonies, and I have some feathers that I use for smudging and in ceremonies. And I was like, those were the things that I missed. I missed those things. I also missed yoga pants and my hiking boots because I just didn't think to bring those. So, there's that. Oh well. Learned. What do you do? But yeah, it's very interesting. It's kind of like, when I stopped drinking alcohol and then when I had a drink, and I got violently ill, like super vomit. And then like 2 years went by and I was like, I'm gonna have another drink. I'm gonna have like a glass of wine or something. I got halfway through it and I was like, I don't feel good. And I went ahead and drank the rest and then I ended up throwing up again. I'm like, okay, lesson learned. This does not feel good for my body. Like I had shifted my frequency so much, my energy, my body healed so much that I couldn't put the toxin in it. And I've learned that when I've done cleanses, like when I did a cleanse forever and ever ago, I don't even remember when, must have been the early 2000s. And I took um, wheat and dairy out of my diet. And when I added one back in, I was like, ouch, this hurts. I don't like it. And so both of them, lesson learned. Like I can't put that back in. And so, coming back and feeling like, oh crap, I don't know what to eat. I don't feel like there's food here that I can eat. My garden was luckily people came over and like got a lot of the food that was growing. So now there's nothing really left. I was able to grab a carrot. I have a couple peppers that I can finagle, I'm sure. Um, so yeah, so it's just an interesting feeling, right? It's kind of like if you stop drinking and you realize that all your friends only go out to drink and you're like, oh, I don't want to do that, well, then what do? Do you stay with those friends or do you leave? And so that's kind of where I am with this. And my mind is trying to figure it all out when the reality is the reality is that my spirit is what I want to decide. Like I want my spirit to be the decider in everything that comes forth after I integrate my experience in Central America because I want to go back and my mind can't quite figure it out. Um, so I'm letting my heart lead me. And so it looks like it's been a lot of prayer, a lot of prayer, a lot of EFT, a lot of tapping, a lot of healing work, a lot of meditation, um, and moving forward. Like I'm moving forward in a direction. So I'm like clearing through my things, um, preparing my house to sell it, and which is a very interesting space to be in mentally. Yeah, and physically, because um, I enjoy having a home and to know that I am choosing to release that to not have one until I mean, I can find a place to rent in Costa Rica. I'm sure I know I can. Um, I made really good friends in the community that are like on the lookout for different places and they're sending me things. So that'll be easy. Um, it's interesting. I put this up and then I'm like, that looks like a big ponytail, but when I'm a certain angle, it's like I have no hair. It's so funny when I have my hair pulled back, conversation with Flash again. But when I have my hair pulled back and you can't see any of it, I feel like I look more like my dad. I don't know. Maybe not. Anyway, but I like to have a home. Um, and I also have learned that like I like to adventure. And so, how do I integrate, right? How can I bring these two pieces together of having a home and stability and community and travel with adventure and continuing to do my life's purpose, spread the word, hold groups, conscious circles, It's very interesting, and I feel like we're many of us are moving into our future, and we we can't just I mean, I guess we can just jump into the future, whatever that new thing is, and just leave everything behind. But even in that way, you'd have to integrate into the future without anything that you had before. Yeah, kind of like thinking about that now. Like how does that work? Like I guess either way, whether you have a whole past of stuff that you are integrating, or you say screw it and we'll leave it all behind, there's still a timeline of like assessing and witnessing and just letting the pieces fall where they may, for sure. Instead of just continuing to keep all the pieces in the air and just, "Ah!" Yeah, that's what I'm noticing anyway. So my body gets to integrate with, I don't know. I do not know how I'm going to integrate my body. Y'all, I'm serious. Um, One, the groceries are so expensive here. Like, I knew that before I left, but I just spent 3 months where I could literally pick fruit out of the yard. Um, and then I would go to the market so I'd know the farmers that were growing everything in the community, and I would spend maybe $10 and I would leave with like two or three bags full of fruit and vegetables. And they didn't hurt my stomach and they didn't make me feel like fuzzy headed. So I'm not really sure how to integrate my body back into the United States. I'm actually having a challenge with that. So if you have any suggestions, leave a comment. Yeah. Yeah, it's almost like it's not a fear, but I don't know of another word. It's almost like I have fear of like eating any of the food here. And I was growing it myself, but I just don't have anything growing. So I'm like, damn it. Oh, but I have lentils and quinoa, so I can eat that. Anyway, my mind is integrating pretty all right. I feel like my mind is integrating pretty okay. Um, my spirit is definitely integrating because it was almost like where I was, it was like my spirit was like expanded. My energy field was expanded, like, hey, all the time. Because I'm like with the earth and all the things. And then here it's like, it's still here. It takes more conscious awareness for me to expand it, for sure. Yeah, yeah. It felt easier for it to be expanded there when I'm doing the things like that I was doing. Um, over the way it feels here. Yeah. So there's integrating into that, right? Because I can't just like leave. I mean, I guess I could. I don't want to just leave. Um, yeah, I gotta sell my shit. Like I got stuff to do. Um, yeah. So I'm still integrating, as you can tell from this offering that I am a little like I may seem a little out of it. Um, but maybe I am a little out of it. I'm Yeah, I don't know. If I feel very weird, that's for sure. Um, I still feel really happy and excited. Like I don't feel bad. I do feel weird. though, for sure. Um, feel like I could use a lot more support. I'm not really sure what I need support on or with. Um, but just kind of like one day at a time, what do I need to do today? Well, I need to eat food. Like like our lives are so simple. Like that's the thing that I've really learned is like, man, like what do we really need to do today? Well, we need to have some water. We need to have some food. That's it. Like that's so it. Everything else is like a complete perk. And the food is a perk when it's fresh and because it's delicious. It's literally medicine that the earth mother gives us all the time. But like we don't need much. We need friends, we need food, water, shelter. That's it, you know? And maybe a massage. Maybe some of us need a massage. I could use a massage. Anyway, I appreciate your patience in this specific offering where I probably maybe seem I don't know like I don't have my shit together because I don't have my shit together. I'm having a challenge in nourishing my body here. Um, I'm having a challenge in letting my mind stay focused um, on one task at a time because I have a million tasks. Um, that I get to face and move through alone. Um, and I'm really grateful for my spirit. I'm really grateful for my heart. I'm really grateful for love and my guides and healthy and well healed ancestors and angels and my galactic friends and all of the unseen forces that are cheering my ass on because that right now is getting me through this integration that I'm moving through for sure. So that's why I'm like body, mind, spirit, y'all. We have to have all three because sometimes we have a big challenge with one of them or two of them. It's like I was doing all right in my life when I was like super physically fit and I was going to school. My spirit wasn't remotely acknowledged, right? So there was this part that was missing. But like everything else was good. When the three of those aspects are like working together in harmony and in tandem, like high fiving each other and like, you got this, it's so different. And so I can feel that my mind is a little bit have a lot of information in my mind right now. And my to-do list is very long. Um, and my body is uncomfortable with the food choices. I guess I could start a fast. But I was eating so much good stuff. I don't want to fast. Well, anyway, so yeah, so I'm really grateful for spirit right now because I tell you what, that's what's getting me through this integration. So wherever you are, whether your mind is feeling a little meh, or your body is meh, or your spirit is meh, remember that you got the other aspects of you that has you, that got you, like you got you, right? Maybe you're like, I'm losing my mind and I'm a little bit down, but my body, hey, you're still in it, like it's still carrying your ass around, right? So everything is shifting for so many of us. Um, And so I'm sending just heaps and heaps of love to everybody, wherever you are in this process of leaving things behind, changing old ways of being, stepping into your future, um, integrating the things that you want to integrate so that you can grow into your future self with as much grace, joy, and ease as humanly possible. And I'm going to end it on a burp. Of course. That's one thing. I'm like, I'm gonna yawn out of nowhere. I don't yawn that much. But as soon as I start recording, I start yawning. It's so weird. And burping. I do burp a lot. I like it. Anyway, I love y'all. I'm so grateful for you all. Thank you for watching. Leave comments. Um, and I will see you all soon. Take care of yourselves and each other.